Who is Shiva, truth behind the god of destruction? He is one of the most worshipped and known figures across the whole world, and especially Hinduism. His general form is that of an ascetic, always meditating on the highest peaks of the Himalayan mountains. He has renounced all his worldly pleasures and he always meditates. He has detached himself from all the worldly pleasures. He is also a perfect husband who has a legendary story. His name is Shiva. And even then, he is mostly known for what seems to be completely opposite. Shiva the Destroyer. And how is this possible? How can a god, how can an ascetic, how can a perfect husband be responsible for the cosmic annihilation? Why a god for his philanthropy can also be known as the god of destruction? To know this, we have to go back. We have to go way back. We have to understand all of the paradoxes in Hindu mythology. We have to journey through ancient scriptures, ancient traditions, rituals, and customs to understand him better, to know his true identity. Because this is not just about him, it's about nature. It's about the ever-changing, ever-expanding universe itself. So what comes to your mind when you hear the name Shiva? An image of an ascetic yogi always meditating on the Kailasha. And to get to know him better, we have to take many steps backward to one of his earliest forms known as Rudra. The Rig Veda, being one of the earliest forms of Hindu scriptures, explains him as the god of untamed wilderness, of hunt, the god of storms and winds. He is said to have cured illnesses, protect cattle and livestock. His devotees often worshipped him in the means of begging him to spare their livestock and to get them most of their livestock as possible. And the bad elements of society feared him because of his arrows, which brought death and illnesses. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are countless ancient hymns in Hindu mythology which explains that his power to destroy is also his power to cure. The hymns describe him as a healer, the one who possessed exceptional powers to heal and cure. He is known to possess many healing remedies. He is also known as the best physician. You see, the ancient rishis or the yogis, they understood something phenomenal. They understood that his power to hurt was also a power to heal. The flood that destroys also bring life-giving waters to barren land. The storm that destroys also gives us life-giving rain. He is the symbol of uncontrolled, raw, untamed power of the divine nature itself. He is both petrifying and altruistic. And one of the several meanings of the name Shiva means philanthropic, kind, gentle, and always healing, always compassionate. You see, throughout time, Rudra's prominence and prestige grows. He is blessed to have associations with the main Shiva that we know of and we see everywhere today. He is given names which later came to be associated with Shiva, mainly Pashupati, the god of all living beings, and Shankara, the beneficent, and they begin to merge into one cosmic complex identity we know as Shiva. Now we come to Shiva, the philosophical god. You see, the Upanishads are a collection of vast philosophical Hindu scriptures which tries to push you and make you understand towards the ultimate reality of nature itself. The next step in understanding the true reality of Shiva comes from these sacred texts called the Upanishads. Here, Shiva is elevated from being one of the most powerful gods in the pantheon to a lot more, to the divine god itself, the ultimate reality, the source of all creation known as Brahman. And to be precise, the Shvetashvatara Upanishad is the major text here, and it dwells upon questions like what has caused this cosmos, who is behind everything, where do we come from, who are we. In conclusion, it explains that the ultimate cosmic seed is the divine power of the self. This is a phenomenal cosmic realignment. Shiva is no longer a member of the divine council, he is the divine council himself. He becomes the initial source, the source of all other divine gods, all other divine beings, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer, the one who melts the cosmos into annihilation. He becomes the inner reality, the self, the consciousness among every other living being. This divine, paradoxical, and philosophical idea is very important to understand, that why is he called the destroyer? Why he dissolves space and time ultimately into nothingness? Why does he feel the need to do so? There is a philosophical and metaphorical idea behind this. And having said that, now let's move to the Puranas. Puranas are an amazingly vast collections of philosophical stories where all of these philosophical ideas are ignited into existence through various stories. And this is where Shiva became Mahadev, the god of the gods. If you are familiar with Hinduism, you must be familiar with the Holy Trinity, the Trimurti, which is Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer. But In an ancient tradition called Shaivism, there is only Shiva. It is believed that Shiva performs 5 cosmic functions known as the Panchakarta. He creates himself, he is the preserver and the one who hides true reality in an illusion. He grants grace and illusion, and Vishnu and Brahma are seen as the other side of his will, who performs duties based on Shiva's will. And one of the most prominent, most known, and the most amazing chronicle which displays Shiva's power is Lingodvaya. And let me tell you this cosmic chronicle. And the story goes as once Vishnu and Brahma were arguing on who is the greater god among themselves. Is it the one who creates or is it the one who maintains? When suddenly a cosmic, big, vast pillar of cosmic fire and cosmic flames manifested itself in front of them. Brahma, he turned himself into a swan and he started flying upwards, trying to find the top of the pillar. And while Vishnu, he turned himself into a boar, trying to find its base. And after thousands of years because there is a concept of time dilation in Hinduism as well, which I will explain in another video. And after 1,000 years, both Vishnu and Brahma, they were unable to find the top or the base. Vishnu was sincere enough to let the laws carry him away. He accepted his defeat and confessed that he couldn't find the base. Brahma, on the other hand, had ego take over and he lied about finding the top. He lied that he had found the top and that he is the greater god among them. And at that very moment, the cosmic pillar with celestial flames burst open, revealing Shiva in the inside. He praised Vishnu for his honesty and humbleness, but he silenced Brahma's pride with wisdom. Cosmic pillar of celestial flames represents Shiva's ultimate reality. It represents Shiva's infinite, endless spirit, his transcendental and immeasurable essence, the ultimate reality beyond thought and form. But however, he is not just about the cosmic power. He is also known as the ultimate savior, the ultimate rescuer. See, during the stirring of the cosmic ocean known as the Kshirosagar, it is the cosmic ocean which showcases that all of our universe is surrounded by a cosmic vast ocean. A deadly poison known as Halahal manifested itself. It was so toxic that it risked the entire fabric of existence itself. And in an act of unconditional divine love, to save everyone, to save the reality of existence itself, Shiva drank the poison, protecting all of existence itself. This poison turned his throat blue, which gave him the name Nilkant, or the blue-throated one. This selfless act of the supreme sacrifice, it symbolizes that destructive powers, when turned inwards, will always bloom into supreme sacrifice which will guard the world. And of course, Shiva's relationship with Parvati. You see, Sati was Shiva's first wife and she died. Shiva was so grief-stricken that he renounced everything. He renounced all of his possessions and he became an ascetic. Sati was later reincarnated as Parvati. And through Parvati's immense devotion, immense unconditional devotion and love, Shiva was brought back from asceticism. And their bond is not mere romance. It is the cosmic union of consciousness, which is Shiva, and energy, which is Shakti or Parvati. And together they are known as Shiv Shakti. This is the main reason why Shiva is the ultimate figure of asceticism, while also the perfect householder. He is the master of all realities. Follow for part 2 to know more about Shiva. Like and share the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel to know more about this, to know more about Shiva.